discussion. Can't you see them dad boys are casting? Testing competition on their podcast mission. Never know what you get. It's chaotic precision. If you don't know, you better find out the dad pack. I'm here to prove a point. We three kings just believe that you don't want to tussle with them. This show is thunder. Subscribe and tune in, and you're laughing to the very end. Don't turn your back on the dad pack. Don't turn your back on the dad pack.
Put the kids to bed. Dad's home. We are the DWO podcast, representing the dad world order. I am the handsome head of household, Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. And with me, as always, the rest of this patriarch pack. We got way down there the big bad bearded daddy. He is Big Rig Eric Murphy.
Sorry, in the middle of doing some stuff.
And he is the perpetual mid-carter and the two-time world record holder. He is the wrestling t-shirt guy, Bo Cephas.
Cowabunga indeed. We're on day 1004, back with another Undertaker shirt.
Can't go wrong with the Taker shirt.
No, sir. Big Rig, you want to introduce our guest for the day, please?
Abso-freaking-lutely. Sorry, I'm all discombobulated here. And that's not good because we got a kick-ass guest on here today. As Mr. Magnificent said, we are the DWO podcast, and tonight we have with us back for the, now what is it, 21st time? The one and only, the Briz, the homie, Tusslemania. He's brought along a special friend of his. You've seen him. I guarantee you've seen him. The guy that defies all the laws of physics, the one and only Ninja Mack. Sir, how the heck are you?
Yo, DWO podcast. Y'all want to make a bet tonight?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Good. I hope everything's going well. Going good over here in Houston, Texas. So enjoying this hot weather.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. We are in a lot of rain. A lot of rain up here.
Drenched.
We are in the northern Kentucky, southern Ohio area, so just getting the back end of the hurricane rain, pretty much. So,
However, though, I am a Texas boy, so
Hey, represent.
yes, sir. San Marcos,
Oh, party college.
something like that. Oh man.
all right.
So, what's been up, man? How's life been treating you lately?
It's been going good. I've been back in the States for about 3 or 4 weeks, coming off that 2 years in Noah and Japan, being back and forth. Just grinding out some indies right now and trying to just get back to the American circuit, trying to get back to the American internet wave.
Man, I tell you what, Japan's definitely going to be missing out. Are you basically done with Japan for the foreseeable future right now? Is that you just America focused, or would you still take a Japan date?
Oh, I'm always interested in work, so I'm always willing to go grind out. I did end my contract July 31st. No bad blood between me and Noah. It was a mutual portion. I love Noah. The whole goal was to go out there, was to capture a championship, kind of add Noah to the resume. I was able to do both those. 2 years of Noah. I got that junior championship on my first year being there. Towards the back half of the second year, I was able to beat Tanaka and Super Crazy to become the GHC Hardcore Championship, the title they just revived for their Monday Magic shows. And, coming off that Super Juniors where Noah rented me out for New Japan, I just felt like, blasting myself to the world and being 2 years in Japan, why not step back to America? There's so much talent in America and on the indies right now. And with how much AEW's expanded, Ring of Honor's trying to grow, even with the merger of WWE and TKO, I hope I'm saying that company's name right.
Yep.
UFC company. I wanted to get back to America's side, kind of see where the talent's grown. I mean, there's so much talent here that I think there's so many possibilities of matches, and you got a couple coming up just as we speak about it.
I know I would love to see you come to Revolver and see you versus a Speedball. Something like that would just blow my mind, man. I'd love to see that here in Dayton. Sammy, book it. You know what I mean?
Hey, Speedball, man, that guy's one hell of a fucking wrestler. Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry, Dad. We cussing? We allowed to cuss? What's the
Oh yeah.
Best way, brother.
Hey.
Dad after hours.
We put the
Hey,
kids
after
to bed.
hours.
Kids are in bed.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. Fuck yeah. But yeah.
indeed.
Hey, but Speedball, man, that guy is, if people don't already consider him one of the best right now wrestling, the guy's in the top 10 right now, killing it in the States. He's so consistent in big matches, and he's on point with everything. That's a great match to have.
Yeah, we need to see
talked
that.
about it. It's a special thing to get to see him as much as we do, because we're sponsors of Revolver and Tussle here, and we go to every show that we possibly can. We've traveled for a lot of them. We saw him versus a lot of awesome people, and he is amazing every time. I call him a real life Mortal Kombat character, and I think you're in that same boat, man. So I feel like you guys could really, I mean, especially in Dayton, man, that's got to happen. Hint, hint, Sadie.
Yeah. Well, you can manipulate that situation a little bit, cut a little promo after the show next time, and maybe Ninja Matt calls some people out. We see what that leads to.
Yeah, like I said, I'm independent. I'm freelancing now, so I'm all open to all challengers who wants to step up and go against the Ninja.
So you've been back in the States for how long now? You said it ended in July, so you've been back a couple months.
No, I've so my contract ended in July. You gave them a 2 or 3 week little free period after to kind of finish out that tour, so I wasn't just there for a couple weeks. I've been home in the States for about 3 weekends, so maybe 3.5 weeks. I've been back in the States, not even a full month yet.
So how you obviously worked a bunch of indies in the United States before you went over to Japan. Was the audience, the fans, was it a different, like getting used to it? Was it different from United States compared to Japan in terms of how they reacted to you and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, being a baby face, I'm a pretty good crowd favorite everywhere I go. So, I'm getting the crowd up and cheering no matter what. But there is a big difference between the American market and Japanese market. Especially my first couple months going there, they were still the COVID era where the audience was sitting a seat apart. They're only allowed to clap. That really opened up towards the end of my first year, where the audience was able to get loud and start cheering again. And then the second year, I really got to experience the Japanese audience. And Noah rented me out to Dragon Gate, New Japan. So I was able to try many promotions when I was there. And like I said, the audience, that they're just as wild. I would say that they're more attentive. They won't be on their phone as much because they're kind of watching as the shows compared to an American audience. But if you're a good enough wrestler, the American audience isn't going to watch their phones. They're going to be watching you. So that's a good indication of where you're at also. If I remember that year before I went to Noah, I did a lot of indies, but my main focus was to really drive through GCW. GCW and Brett were giving me a great opportunity to be on every show every weekend. So in terms of numbers, I mean, with GCW, we were doing 1,000 to 1,500 people every show that year. Noah right now, Kurikan does about 1,300, but they max out at 15. Noah gave me the opportunity to be in front of 10,000 people at Sumo Hall a couple times, Ryogoku, and then I got to do that Tokyo Dome show with 31,000 people for that Noah New Year's show, the Muta retirement tour, and to be in the opportunity to be in front of 30,000 people. That was a great experience, learning experience. But coming down to matches, it's not too much of a difference. Like I said, just Japanese to English. I mean, I started picking up some Japanese.
So I got to ask, because I'm in a band and we've played shows for 5 people. We've also played shows for 5,000 people, and those 5,000 people, those shows, the energy are so much different. Was that 30,000 show? Did you feel like an extra surge with that many people?
No, not me. I'm experienced. Before wrestling, I was with Cirque de Coliel a little bit, doing some circus jobs. I've traveled the world already with circuses. Honestly, right out of high school, I've been doing nothing but entertaining and performing. So to be in front of 10,000 people, 5 people, 30,000 people, to me, I'm not going to get jitters or get nervous in front of it. But I do feel when you're under that 100 mark, I can be a little more personal with the audience, because I said I can get a good eyesight of everyone, or actually get in touch with everyone. When you're in front of that 10,000 people and 30,000 people, you still want to do a good show. You got energy because it's a crazy big show. But when you're in that ring and you're focused on that match and the lights are on, like I said, I'm going for that win. So it's very hard to just focus on 30,000 people. But there is that, there's that rush, in front of that many people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, do you notice? You said the Japanese crowd's a little bit more attentive. Are they similar where they like to, like video on their phones? Because I know American audiences. I've done it. We've all done it where we're like, oh, this. I can tell like a good spot's about to happen. I need to record it. Or are they more like in the moment? I just want to watch the show.
They want to watch the show. I know just personally with Noah, and I don't know the other companies, but I believe Dragon Gate and New Japan were the same. You're not actually allowed to have your phone out to record or take pictures
Really?
or post. Yeah, because if it gets online, like sometimes people will cut it from the Wrestle Universe feed. But every time I've had someone try and take like videos or photos, they'll have that security standing by the side to tell people to put those videos down.
Wow. Okay.
Crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas over here, they're like, record, retweet it, post it.
Yeah. Well, you're also independent companies compared to a big company versus Noah and New Japan, where their main focus is to get it on stream. We're trying to get subscribers, so we don't want to be giving too much away for free unless we're posting it and giving out the content. So it just comes down to that business aspect.
Makes a lot of sense.
So I feel right now like independent wrestling, I guess maybe just wrestling in general in America is kind of at a real like of the roller coaster ride it is. It's at a real peak right now. Things are really buzzing in the wrestling world. There's wrestling and just pop culture again. Did you experience this same kind of thing in Japan right now? Is it kind of a renaissance after COVID? Is that worldwide or is that just something stateside here?
Yeah, I think that first year they were slowly opening up. So, I mean, it's a little unfair to compare because when we were running that GCW that first year before I went to Japan, even when we were doing the Texas shows, our Texas shows, we started running right in the middle of COVID. That's how Loco blew up, Local Wrestling. And we kind of caught that early wave. I think Japan slowly brought themselves into it. Like I said, I'm trying to compare numbers without knowing exact numbers before I was there. But if Kurikan can sell out at 1,700, we were already back up 1,300. Marufuji's 25th anniversary show sold out the building at like 1,650. I mean, it took a year to get back to selling out Kurikan Hall. Sumo Hall, I believe they fit 10,000 if you max out. Noah was doing 22, 25. I think we got up to 4,000. And like I said, these aren't exact numbers. These are just kind of rough estimates of what I remember. But it's starting to blow up more. I think it's just taking a little longer of approach because I think Japan was a little slower to open up to everything.
I get that. But also, I feel like in America, the wrestling fandom kind of has, peaks and valleys. I know like I kind of fell off from it for, quite a few years and then came back to it. Is the Japanese audience, do they seem like they're just with it all the time, no matter what? Like it's just kind of a constant?
No, actually, no. I believe every company has a good audience on their own. Like there's not too much of a crossover from what I've noticed. Like Dragon Gate's got their audience, New Japan's got their audience. Like Noah, we don't have any female wrestlers, so when you're looking out in the audience, there's a lot of ladies in the audience for the Noah show as being an all male show. You go out to a Marvelous show or one of the Joshi shows, you'll get a lot of more of the guys at the shows. So every company seems, I mean, you got a couple crossovers between fans, but for the most part, I think every company there has got their own set audience that they're attracting.
Interesting.
And I gotta ask, man, tagging with Muta.
Yeah.
What was that like, man? I mean, those are things like, whatever people can want to say about you was fine, but no one can ever take that away from you, dog. You were able to tag with the Great Muta. Like that's, you know what I mean? That's
crazy.
That's gotta been. Talk to us a little bit about that. Tell me how awesome that was, man.
Oh, it's amazing. There's been 2 times in my wrestling career where I really felt like in ninja world we say ki or energy. Like when I walk into a room, the first time I walked in to Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, I was going to a fantasy camp when I was first started wrestling. That's where I started my training at school. When Booker T walked into the room, you could instantly feel the energy change the room. That's a WWE superstar. That time I walked into Muta and to introduce myself, hey, we're going to be tagging. That was one of the strongest energies I was able to felt. And this just when you look at the guy, that's a legend to us, but that's another guy sitting in a chair. But for him to command that much energy from the wrestlers walking into the room, like I said, that aura, it's pretty amazing just to be around it, and then to get in the ring with him, and you can feel that energy come from the crowd. It's a learning experience for me. So I try and take everything and learn from it, and adapt to it, and grow from it. And it was something amazing that I'll never be able to duplicate.
It's talk about, for lack of a better term to synonymize it to, but like your WrestleMania moments, that's one, dude. You got the tag with the Great Muta, and for 58 years old, that dude can go, man.
Oh yeah, he can still move. You get him, when you see him before shows and after shows, and he's getting around. It's kind of, I got that Yoda image in my head, the old man walking with the cane, getting around. But when it's time to get serious, and he's got that gear on, or he's got that paint on, he steps in that ring and he hasn't lost a step. He can command the audience. He can move around that ring, no problem. And it's like, sir, I just saw you about an hour and a half ago in a wheelchair or walking on a cane, and now you're out here in a ring taking chair shots, doing moonsaults, and whipping some ass. It's amazing to see in person. And then, when he finishes the match, he's going in the back with that Yoda walk after he just whoops some ass. It's something amazing to see.
That's awesome. Yeah, just Yoda dropping the cane. All right, let's go. Then he's done wrestling. All right, Kane's back. That's wild. Go ahead, Steve.
Go ahead, Rick.
No, I was just going to bring up the match that was actually broken on our podcast here. It was announced, breaking news. Revolver Texas show coming up on October the 12th. You versus Lucha Lit Lince Dorado. How you feeling about that?
Man, I'm excited. That guy's a phenomenal wrestler too. Like I said, I believe he comes out of Florida, but I mean, the guy's got swag. He's got energy. He can move in the ring real well for Lucha, but he's got an American style. I think it's gonna be a very interesting clashing match. I'm just hoping to keep up with him. The guy looks impressive. The gear looks good. He looks sharp. Guy's got style. That's one thing. That Lucha Lit style, man. The guy's flying off the walls.
Yeah, we had him on a little bit ago. He was a fun guest, man. He's a great act to watch too, and to see you guys clash is going to be awesome.
Yeah, for the remix title too. So we'll see what kind of stipulation that match has too. If it's going to be the death match, the kitty litter death match, we'll see.
Oh man, hey, y'all, if y'all just talk to him, y'all got a word of advice for me about to take him on coming up. I make bets. I'll throw a little money your way if you give me a little hint how to take him out.
I'll tell you what, you just watch your back because he's got a lot of kitties in tow.
Oh,
he's got a lot of cats helping him out.
I've never seen anyone try catnip. I don't know what it would do to him.
I was gonna say laser pointer.
Dude, I like him. Y'all be waiting. I'm going laser pointing straight to the eye if I have to. Whatever it takes to win.
To get that strap, baby, get that gold, Ninja.
Hey, when championship matches are on the line, you got to do whatever you can in the legal bounds to win the match.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Just be on the eye for that. He, may not have been in the legal bounds for the past couple matches, and he gets to pick the stipulation. So just be on your toes. Be ready for anything.
And that's the whole idea of being a ninja and training as hard as I do. Y'all bring it my way. I'll be ready every time.
Hell yeah. And I think that's what's going to make this fun, man. He's had a couple defenses, and it's been pretty much one-sided in his direction. I don't know if he's going to underestimate or if he's going to be ready for it. So it'll be interesting.
It's going to be Lucha Lit, right?
Oh yes.
Yeah, man.
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to though is obviously the outcome of the match, but we know our boy Tussle's going to be ringside, and the fucking footage from that match is going to be top tier.
Oh yes. It's been
He's
too
gonna be
long
torn.
since I filmed with the homie Ninja Mack.
Who's
As
that?
many of you know, Ninja Mack was pretty much the first dude to fly me out to shows, bring me along basically as his personal videographer, photographer. So through him, I got to do a lot of fucking really cool stuff. And crazy enough, the very first GCW show that I went to with Ninja Mack was fucking Hammerstein. So we went, like straight to fucking the coolest shit we could have possibly done. And Ninja Mack was, like I said, always one to give me a shot and give me an opportunity, and it ended up leading to a lot of fucking cool stuff. So I always got mad love for that dude. That's the big homie right there.
Thank you. Yeah, I always feel wrestling world. You know, the wrestlers always got each other back, but if you got a good guy that can work the camera, that helps us just as much. You got a good ring announcer with wrestling. It's not just the wrestlers; it's the camera people. It's your announcers. It's the podcast people willing to put us over and get us some news, get us some video during the week. People, if y'all haven't done so, please go subscribe to the DWO podcast.
Hey,
Big
What do you
bets.
think about that?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, shout out from Ninja Mac. Thank you, sir. That's much
Yeah,
appreciated.
Without a doubt. But that's the wrestling world. We all help each other. Everyone grows. That wrestling bubble grows. Let's try and make wrestling as big as we can. It's bubbling right now.
Yep.
Well, that was kind of how we originally got in with Tussle here. We kind of thought outside the box a little bit because a lot of podcasts out there, they just have, in-ring talent on. And we were like, I bet that dude's got some fucking cool stories, So we had him on, and now he's a 21-time guest on the Dad World Order podcast.
To be fair, we've been going for 2 years, every twice a week. You know what I mean? So, but still, that's a lot.
That's commitment. But yeah, I said with Tusslemania, if y'all haven't done it yet, please go give Tusslemania a follow. Follow this clips. The guy's got clips of some of the top stars in the world. And if you haven't subscribed to Tusslemania or gave him a follow yet, y'all are missing out on some of the best clips right now.
It's true.
Absolutely are.
We filmed our intro video.
Yes,
He
sir.
did. Yeah. All those awesome intro shots you see there were filmed by the one and only Tusslemania. And man, I'll put you over every time because of all the ringside videographers out there, ain't nobody doing it like Tussle. I'll tell you that right now.
Appreciate it, bro.
Bet that.
Big bets.
So Ninja Mac, you said you're a betting man. Is that something that where did that come from? Is that something you started when you were real young, or somebody made a bet with you and you were like, oh, I like this?
Oh no, I'm one of those degenerate gamblers from a young age, about 8, 9, 10. I was watching World Series of Poker since I was little. I mean, I was hooked on it on ESPN. When I even back to 10, 11, 12.
Oh, man, Chris Moneymaker out there just winning shit.
Oh, the legend, please. That's the dream. Hey, it's been one of my dreams to go out to one of these events during that World Series run and be one of the first professional wrestlers to win a gold bracelet. It's gonna happen. I mean, I'm swinging big for it. I just got to spend some time out there to get it done. But like I said, I gamble in some tournaments. I play some blackjacks on weekends. I mean, I was playing last night right after work. Hey, and just to talk about it, y'all want to make bets? Get ready.
Some of my favorite stories are about gambling and Ninja Mac. This dude has taken me to we've been on the road obviously a lot together, and this dude has taken me to casinos and shit, and I don't know anything about anything, and he'll hand me an undisclosed amount of money, and I'll go and fucking play some slots and stuff, lose all that fun money. He'll give me a fucking another undisclosed amount of money, lose that again. But we've had some really cool times at fucking blackjack table, stuff like that. One of my other favorite stories is Effie told me one time.
Yeah, Effie.
Mac was like, yo, I'm going to go make like $4,000 tonight. And Effie was like, all right, bro. And a couple hours later, Ninja Mac showed up with the slip and made over $4,000 or whatever that was. It was thousands of dollars.
Yeah, 4,500 that night. AC weekend.
$4,500.
Damn.
It sounds like we need to
Hey,
do a
man.
gambling trip up here. Shit.
Hey,
We got a couple good casinos down here on the Ohio.
Yeah.
So degenerate gambler from the beginning. If you were to do the World Series of Poker, would you be allowed to wear the mask?
that's something I'd have to ask ahead of time. I know the companies they got in Texas because we don't have gambling down here legally, so they have the Texas rooms where you buy the time and you can play on the tables. They've been the two companies I go to have once I talk to them and they see me play frequently, they've checked out my mask, but they said, yeah, it's no different than wearing a hoodie and some sunglasses once they've checked it out. So they allowed it, but when you get to that big World Series of Poker event, and you're talking millions of dollars, not just thousands, that might be something they might frown upon. But at the same time, if they're willing to let me do it for endorsements and advertising purposes, I'm more than willing to let anyone check my mask, make sure I'm not doing no supervision, seeing cards. But I
think about that though. Like if you're World Series of Poker, like people see a guy in a freaking ninja luchador mask that I'm watching that guy.
Free advertisement, yep.
Yeah.
Free publicity, free advertisement. I mean, and like I said, that the gambling, when I started the Ninja Mack character, I was originally in Texas going by the dealer Ninja Mack. And for my merch table, I would set up a blackjack table in Texas, and I would play the fans. You could buy my clothes, but if you played me in 3 blackjack hands and beat me in 3 in a row, I'd give you my merch for free, whatever you wanted. But if you lost out of those 3, you paid double the price. So you'd have to pick, you have to pick if you wanted to gamble or not, or just buy my merch. But I was rocking hard on the dealer gimmick for a little bit until I went to Japan, and gambling illegal in Japan. So took a little break.
Yeah.
Really? No casinos in Japan?
No casinos in Japan. Now, just like Texas, I did find out Shibuya and Shinjuku, some of those poker rooms are popping up because I believe in their court of law. I don't know the whole legislation's name, but they're starting to try and get gambling passed over there. They think it'll be a good tax revenue. So that's something to look forward to in Japan in the next 2 years. But the gambling rooms are starting to pop up in Shinjuku and Shibuya. I would know since I played at a couple of them this last couple months.
You sound experienced.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just trying to practice my Japanese. I figured I'd learn faster trying to gamble in Japanese.
Yeah. There you go. So was that something going over there, wrestling guys that maybe don't know a whole lot of English? Was that kind of tough having matches with them, or did it kind of just flow seamlessly and you guys figured it out?
Not at all. I think wrestling is a body language. Even if I wasn't able to speak and communicate with the people or yell at them or congratulate them in a match, at the same time, I think you have a good enough body language in wrestling to get around. And I had enough experience in Mexico and lucha through Texas that I was able to work with some Spanish speakers a lot. And we weren't able to communicate, so it wasn't much different going over to Japan. But the Japanese wrestlers are so smart. A lot of them speak good enough English to get around, and there's enough English in Japan where I was able to survive.
That's good. But now, would you get yourself more over if you did like cut a promo in Japanese or something like that with the Japanese crowd?
Oh, I believe so. You get a better personal connection. Because I had with the mask, my facials, that's very hidden. That's a reason why I'm very loud in the ring right now, and I'm constantly screaming to get attention and body language. But at the same time, I learned enough Japanese, so when I'm at the table and the merch table, I can communicate a little bit, but not enough to break a promo on them. But I'm still, even now, when I've been home, I'm already enrolled in Japanese speaking classes. It's a language I'm trying to pick up so I can get better. I don't see myself not going back to Japan.
Right.
It's going to happen. Like I said, I love Japan. The crowd did love me. I did well in all the promotions. For Super Juniors, I was the top merch seller on the T-shirts, and I think I was the #1 view producer for Twitter and Instagram for the New Japan. So I said I was getting over. I think learning Japanese will give me that next step to get to the next level, and I'm always trying to grow and get better.
Love that.
Speaking of that Super Juniors, actually, what's that process like where you're part of Noah and they rent you out or whatnot? How do they let you know about that? And like, that's fucking fascinating to me.
Yeah, well, so Noah, with my contract, it was 2 or 3 months on, 1 month home, roughly, even though it was for a year, about 2, 3 months on, 1 month home. They had a couple injuries, so I ended up staying for 8 months straight with Noah. They had a couple injuries. They wanted to keep extending my stay, being the good employee I was. I made it work. And then when I'm about to go home, maybe 2 weeks before I go home, they asked me if I wanted to stay another 5 weeks, but it'd be for New Japan for the Super Juniors for their tournament. So I was supposed to go home after that May 4th show, but since they asked me for the Super Juniors, I was willing to stay the extra 5 or 6 weeks and grind it out a little longer. But once I was working for New Japan, I was not allowed to work on Noah's show during that month time frame. They didn't want any crossover. They don't want to have any risk of injury during an outside match during the tournament.
Right, you're in a tournament, yeah.
So, but same with Dragon Gate. Noah rented me out to Dragon Gate. It's just on an off day that Noah's not having a show. They'll ask me if I want to work Dragon Gate. They were interested, and they asked for permission. I'm willing to work everyone and everywhere I can.
See, man, I gotta swerve topic real quick here, man. But I gotta ask, tell us a little bit about your experience with Cirque du Soleil. What type of acts did you perform?
Yeah, I did the Michael Jackson workshop for Cirque du Soleil, so I was pretty much the guinea pig for that that show as they were building it and creating it. I've done different acts. I've done fire spinning acts. I've done a little trapeze. I've been on the trampolines. I did some of the diving into the water. For Sam Trigo Productions, when I was in the circus, I lived in Los Corocos, Venezuela for a couple months. I stayed in Mexico for 3 months working with Sam Trigo Productions. We went over to Belgium, Brussels, and Europe for, I think it was 2 weekends. So, we got to travel. But coming down to acts, like I said, a lot of the trampoline, a lot of the fire spinning. I've done a little bit of trapeze. So a little handfuls here and there, and then it's kind of how creative you can get with acts. I've tried a couple, but just coming down to performing wise, mostly was trapeze, trampoline, and fire spinning.
Does that pay pretty well? To be at that kind of level. Cirque du Soleil is. I know what a ticket costs to it, or did 10 years ago, but. It kind of like wrestling. There's levels. Even when you get to the highest level of WWE or AEW, there's levels to pay. If I'm doing a trampoline act and there's 8, 9, 10 people plus 5 dancers involved in that 15-minute section, it's going to be broken down on the pay a little more. But if I'm a solo act for those 15 minutes during one of those acts, obviously I'm going to get paid more because I'm doing the work compared to 14 other people. If you're multitask, like I did a little bit of Chinese pole, I did trampoline. So I made a little more than just the average guy coming in just because I was part 1 with the Chinese pole. I was part 3 with the trampoline, part 4 with the trampoline, part 5 with the trapeze. So I was a little multitaskable and you can kind of throw me in different spots. So, if they're using me more, if they're using me in 5 or 6 acts out of the 9, I'm going to get a little bit of paycheck on each one. If I'm only getting used in 1 act out of the 9, you'll make less. If you're the main act, you're going to make the most. You're the main act of the show. Yeah.
So how many dates did you work with something like that? Did you work a lot of like night after night after night, or is that something you do a couple weekends here, or how did that work?
When I was first getting into it, I was right out of high school. I did 1 year of college, and I was at that age. Like, do I want to do the second year, finish my associates, or do I kind of want to get into the circus? Because I knew I was going to be an entertainer. I wasn't going to sit in a classroom or sit in an office. But once I got going and we were doing those tours in Venezuela and Mexico and some of the states, you're running 9 shows a week roughly, and they're filling the market out. So you might do 7 where you're doing a 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. But if those shows are selling really well, let's add the 3rd on Sunday. Oh, that show's selling really well. Maybe we do 1 Monday, 1 Thursday, 2 Fridays. So they kind of test their market when they're there. And depending on how the show's selling, if they're all sellouts, let's add another one while we can. You're trying to hustle and make money. But, if you're getting 50% of the audience at every show, why we're going to add an 8th, 9th, 10th show where we just max out our 7?
True.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, man.
So, is there something that inspired you to want to get into the circus? Like, was there something that you saw when you were a kid, or were you a wrestling fan when you were a kid, or was that something later in life? How did
No,
that
I
all
was
spark?
always a wrestling fan. I was hooked when it was WWF, WCW. With my background, like I said, I was not just WWF, WCW. I was a big Jackass fan. That
Yeah.
show when I was growing up, that was my older kid age, teenage years. So I was already trying some stupid shit. And then let alone I did amateur wrestling growing up. So like I said, I already had a wrestling background, and then I added all the flippy backgrounds with the gymnastics and the backyard trampolines, and it kind of all morphed together. My last tour, like I said, I didn't not say I didn't have an interest in pro wrestling. I just never knew how to get into it or start it. So when I was doing the circus jobs, I still watched a little bit of wrestling here and there. But I met an indie wrestler on my last show that was part of the circus job. Um, he told me, "Hey, you got a good amateur background." Because we, when you're on tour and we're living in hotels, we'd play football or wrestle each other during the weekends, and I'd
Right.
shoot on everyone. And say, you do crazy flips. You got good shoot wrestling. Maybe pro wrestling something to look into." And he said, "Hey, if you're based in California, Texas, or Florida, those are your major schools." And I just happen to be from Houston, Texas, one of the few circus people from Houston, Texas. And he said, "Go try out. Give Booker T School a call. They're right in Houston. Now they're in Galveston, about 30 minutes south of Houston." I finished the show on a Friday. I called the Booker T Reality School. Kevin Bernhardt, their video producer for Reality Wrestling right now, is the guy that answered the phone and said, "We're doing our first fantasy tryout this Sunday. Please stop in, see if you like it." Showed up to that fantasy tryout, and I never turned back to the circus. It's been pro wrestling since then.
Hell yeah! Did you have a favorite wrestler or a moment growing up that like really hooked you?
I think the Stone Cold era, he was so hot. I think he touched everyone kind of keeping up. I was a huge fan of Bret Hart, Owen Hart, watching them, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, watching those guys growing up. Huge fans of all them. Rey Mysterio was a big mark. I was a big mark for Rey Mysterio. Small guy going out there, taking on the big guys, going around the ring. Even just Booker T, knowing he was from Houston, Texas, you got a Houston representative. I was always a fan of his, and then finally be able to get to meet him and then go with that. That's something just coincidental, but things line up for a reason.
Yeah,
I can vouch for that. Stone Cold, growing up in San Marcos with Stone Cold in the 90s, was like, he was, for lack of a better terms, he was like the hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stone Cold was the guy in Texas, man.
Yeah, beer drinker, man. Texas, you got beer drinking going around. Get anyone to drink and party.
Yeah. It's funny, man. I love Stone Cold so much. I saw him win the 97 Rumble. You know what I mean? Like, so I have history in Texas with Austin, and I love him so much, but I ended up getting this fucking rival tattooed on me instead. It was that day I was like, oh, do I get Taker? Do I get Austin? Do I get Taker? Do I get Austin? I chose Taker because Taker looks cooler as a tattoo versus Stone, dude.
Valid.
Stone Cold's just a bald guy.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah. Hey, you might not have to tattoo your elbow if you're trying to just get that bald head on there. Save yourself a little bit on the tattoo.
It's just line work, man. But yeah, that's so cool that like you're a wrestling fan, but then you were like, I'm gonna go do the circuit, and then you just wiggled your way right back into wrestling. It's crazy how those avenues work out. And like you said, you're a fan of Booker T, and then you end up training at his school. That was your start. That's awesome.
That was my literally a 48-hour window. Get home, call my first wrestling school, and the first school happens to be one of the best wrestling schools in the world right now at Booker T Reality Wrestling. So I was very lucky and fortunate to walk into that situation.
Sure.
So you showed me a video once of a highlight reel of tricking. You want to dive into that a little bit and tell us how that relates to wrestling and your movement? And dude, this video is like some of the fucking craziest shit I've ever seen, dude.
Best way I can put it is when you're watching a movie and you're seeing people do all those acrobats and that ninja stuff in the movies and the backgrounds and all those fight movies, there's a sport to that. It's not an official sport, but it is called tricking. tricking is a combination of martial arts, gymnastics, and breakdancing. So it kind of takes the battling of breakdancing and it puts it together with the combination of martial arts and gymnastics. So you got you can kind of train it at anywhere. I can train in a park, at a gym, but at the same time, once you get good enough, you can go battle each other like y'all are fucking Pokemon, and we can do 3-on-3s. You can do single battles. And it's kind of like that parkour breakdancing rules where you do a battle and you got 3 judges. Okay, that guy wins, and they pick from that.
Yeah.
Eddie Gordo from Tekken.
Eddie Gordo from Tekken, without a doubt.
Yeah.
That guy would have been a Tricker if Tricker was alive when that first came out.
So our boy Tussle here actually sent us some clips. I want to watch a couple of these. I have not watched any of the ones he sent, so we're all going to watch them together.
Yeah, there's like 6 or 7 of them, but they're all just a few seconds, so we could just kind of
they're a couple. Yeah, just little clips, quick.
Here we go.
With the ninja music, I love that.
Ninja music, so good.
Yeah, you.
I mean,
Dude, you make it look so effortless. It's crazy.
It's great.
Well, I appreciate that because when you work in indies and the rings change every week. I'm doing 3 or 4 shows a weekend, and I'm in a 16-foot ring on Friday, 20-foot ring on Saturday at 4,
Right.
18-foot ring Saturday at 7, and on Sunday I don't even know what the ring is. Sometimes I get in that miniature ring at 10 foot.
My.
But it's something. Maybe it's just my training since I've been a kid. I've been fully aware, even when I'm flipping around and doing that crazy stuff. I see everything. I see the fans. I see the ropes. I'm never lost. So, even though I know I'm flipping all over the place, I still have my eyes on the opponent after I'm going. That's why I'm able to get after them and get over that rope every time.
Shit's insane, dude.
Does it almost feel like when you're doing it, like it's almost like slow motion for you? Not necessarily slow motion, but you're just like hyper aware of everything.
Oh yeah.
You.
When I watch the clips, like if I watch that Sasuke or if I do my Phoenix 630 for my finishers, when you watch that clip, it's a 1.5, 2 second long actual move, maybe even less. But when you're in that moment and I'm looking at that crowd before I jump off that top to hit a finish, sometimes I feel like I'm in the air for 4 or 5 seconds. And it's just like, no, there's no way I was in the air that long. Or when I'm doing when I'm doing that Sasuke and I'm doing the 2 handsprings, I'm seeing the crowd. When I go over that top rope and there's that moment of free fall, like I'm diving onto someone from a cliff, like sometimes it gives me 3 or 4 seconds in the air, but realistically it's a second long. So that adrenaline, that hyper energy is kicking in and slow everything down for me.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude.
You mentioned Pokemon. If we're talking about humans, you're basically a mythic, right?
Hey, man.
You walk into Kroger's, 99% of everyone else in Kroger's can't do half the shit you can do, my dude.
Oh yeah. Hey, that's an idea, Sam. If you ever hear this, let's get a manager and have a team of 3-on-3 versus 6-on-6, like a Pokemon battle with wrestlers. I'm so bored.
So good.
But you gotta have the managers call out your attack. If they don't call out your shit and they don't know you can't hit it.
It'd be such a fun match, dude.
I think about that.
Hey, I'm down to run it.
Turn-based
make
wrestling.
that happen.
Turn-based wrestling.
Dude, that's a thing. That needs to be.
We've had conversations though where I've asked you like intricate details about stuff like that, because I know like the Phoenix 630 is something that obviously like 1% of 1% of wrestlers do, but you've literally told me that like if you wanted to, you could add something, another variation to that, something different.
Oh, of course. I got 9 or 10 bigger finishers in the Phoenix 630 ready to go. Like I said, I'm a businessman, I'm a market man, and if that Phoenix 630 right now is the biggest top rope finish move right now, why am I going to show my other secret moves when it's winning for me? Every time I do it, it's 100,000 views on Twitter or Instagram. Like I said, if I'm counting, I believe I got 9 bigger finishing moves after that Phoenix 630 I haven't pulled out yet.
Crazy.
Shit.
Is that?
Yes.
I'm just gonna get just by the thumbnail on this. I'm gonna guess that this is it. I may be wrong though. No, that's just you doing crazy shit standing.
Yeah, that's,
Good
yeah,
lord.
that's just no ropes. That's my little scoot cork ninja splash. You know, going back to everything being business and promos, I always cut my promos. Say, hey, I do ninja chops, ninja kicks, and ninja belly flops. So all my offenses are fucking belly flop, but to flippy attacks.
I love it. Let's see. Here we go. Let's try this one. Oh my god!
Wow.
Yeah, second rope Phoenix 450.
Wow.
Like, dude, I've seen people do 450s off the top rope, and it's like, oh, he almost didn't get it. And you're just, second rope, I'll run up.
Hey,
Good night.
if I use the ropes, that means I trusted the ropes because you know, I'm pretty aware when I get to a show, I'll check out their ring. But maybe I'll have to send y'all a clip of me doing my stand-in Phoenix 450. I don't need ropes to hit it. I just, of course, or that 630. I don't need ropes for 630. I can do that right in the middle of the ring if necessary.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
You know, just the elevation of the ropes gives me physics-wise a little more weight coming on a more vertical position for the finish, so it's a little more aggressive in an attack.
Let's hit these last 3 clips real quick. See what we got.
Here we go. Oh, hang on.
My bad. Go for
Get
it.
your finger off the mouse.
You get your finger off the mouse.
So smooth, like
Classic.
like butter.
Hey,
You can hear
always
me.
ready to make bets. Every show, I'm ready to make bets. Wrestling's a gamble. Every move's a gamble. Everything you do in life's a gamble and a bet, man.
You know, you're not wrong, man. As JRs want to say, high risk maneuver.
Yep. But if you calculate it right, hey, it's just high, no risk.
That's right. That is right. So obviously you've got a lot of different gear sets that I've seen you in. Is there a specific person you like that makes your gear, or like how did the evolution of your gear happen? Like, did you start making it and then somebody else made it, or do you still make it? How does that all work?
So when I first started the ninja character, you know, I wore mask when I would face outside of a luchador, an American or international wrestler. I would take the mask. I would leave my mask on, but there's so many luchadors in Texas. When I would wrestle a luchador, I would take the mask off and go maskless. When I signed to Noah, that's when I really evolved into Ninja Mack, where it was a red mask or a black mask, because I was running 2 characters at the same time. A little split ego, but good guy, bad guy. The black ninja was Ninja Mack, and the red ninja was Kamikaze Ninja, my bad character. And that just comes down to, I was trying to find ways, business-wise, one, to make double the money or even 1.5 times the money. But if I could find a way to work twice, I could show my value. I could work as a bad guy and be a little more serious. And then when I was a good guy, I'd go out there, be a little more obnoxious, flippy, and flamboyant style. So one, it was more experience for me in character development, but also I think it was just my work ethic of trying to find ways to make more money, learn to become better. And I found a way to get twice the work in on every show that I could. So it was really just, it kind of evolved from there. And then once I got to Japan, they said, there's no way you're a bad guy. You're too over with the crowd. You go be a good guy every time. So instead of rocking just black and red, it's when it kind of morphed into this design with my red. I got blue, I got gold, I got green, I got a purple, and I got a white one. I got my Power Ranger collection.
Yes.
But that's when it comes back down to business, you know. When I'm doing these shows, I'm wrestling, but I'm also putting on, like I said, I'm putting out there to where, how can I sell 100 items? How can I sell 100 masks? Well, if I got 5 different variations of colors, now I got to sell 20 of each color, not just 100 of one mask.
Right.
Everything comes down to business. Everything from look to in-ring match to in-ring setups and styles. Even just me and Lindsay Dorado. I mean, just the picture alone is going to generate business with the mask on the front.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh man, he announced it before he even put the graphic up. He announced it, and I just in my head, I'm like salivating, like holy shit, this match. It was like, okay, Lindsay and Gringo Loco went at it last time we were in Dayton, and I'm like, here's two guys that are crazy creative, crazy talented. This is going to be great, and you and Lindsay is that match all over again, but in a totally unique, different style, I think. And I think that's going to be really cool.
Oh yeah, Gringo Loco's been killing it, man. That guy's bass got one of the best basses in the world, let alone just one of the best wrestlers right now. I'm just surprised he hasn't been picked up and signed by anyone yet. The guy's been committed and working and grinding, and like I said, just hands down overall, one of the best wrestlers out there.
You and me both, man. We love Gringo. We've had him on here a few times, spoken with him many times, and he is one of our favorite people in this business, hands down.
Very good guy. Yeah, good guy, good friend. Guy works for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had him on a couple times, man, and he's so kind to us. It's just like, man, there's such a disconnect from how bloodthirsty his character is sometimes. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fucking kill this guy.
When he yells, I'm gonna kill this guy.
Yeah. Now you piss Gringo off, he gets in that blood mood, and you go to the back on a good day. He's one of the nicest guys in the world. There's that big flip there.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you worked as your heel character, did you enjoy working more as a babyface or as a heel, or do you really have a preference?
Are you asking the wrestler or the business person?
The wrestler.
If you're asking the wrestler, I love being a heel. I love just being my kamikaze bad character. I can be a little more direct. I don't know if y'all watch any anime, but in most animes, Naruto, Sasuke from the ninja world, you got your good guy, bad guy, Goku, Vegeta. A lot of my characters kind of based around an anime character where they're really the same person, just on the different sides of the coin. So Ninja Mack, my good character, is very loud, obnoxious, flippy. But when I do my kamikaze character, I'm a little more blood sport style, a little more direct, get to the point, go for the kill, and get to the win. Now, if you're asking my business side, I love my Ninja Mack character, my baby face. That's just coming down to money and business. As a good guy, I'm selling masks. I'm doing shoelaces. So,
yeah,
I get it, man. Hey,
shoelaces.
Like you've been saying, man. At the end of the day, it's a business. It's all business oriented. So
it's always business oriented. Every move in that ring is business oriented.
And you better watch your shoelaces if you're sitting front row during a Ninja Mack match.
Yep. If you don't got Ninja Mack shoelaces, you better protect those shoelaces because I'm coming for them. My little kunai knife might slip up and cut yours. You might need some new ones by the end of the show.
Oh, shit.
See, I force my $10 sales at the end of the show.
Yeah, there you go. Man.
Brilliant marketing strategy.
Without a doubt.
Shoelaces got cut. I got some right here.
I got some ready with Ninja Mack on design. Little free advertisement when you walk around for me.
Beautiful.
I love it. That's genius. So now that you're back, getting back in a revolver ring, is there any obviously you want to win that Remix championship. Are there any other people in the Revolver universe that you are really hoping to face? Anybody you want to go after besides Lindsay?
Sammy.
Ooh.
Straight up Sammy. And that's nothing against Sammy. I love the guy. We've clicked since day one. Like I said, very hard for me to just click with some people, but since day one, shaking his hand, introducing myself, we've clicked really well. And like I said, it's nothing personal, but he's a phenomenal wrestler. He's been out there. He's done it with some of the best in the world. And it's a selfish of me, but if I'm trying to become better, I want to face better wrestlers. And if you're going to ask me who I want to wrestle from PWR, man, that's top dog right there. I want Sammy. But first, realistically, I need to focus on some Lucha Lit. I don't like to get too ahead of myself.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I do want to focus Lucha Lit October 12th in Texas. But hey, Sammy, I know you're going to be listening to this. I'm ready.
Hey,
Hell yeah, dude.
7 days later, they're in Dayton, and I don't think Sammy's been announced for a match. So you know what I'm saying.
Hey, want to make a bet?
Hey, I
Hey,
would gladly bet on that.
Oh man.
Oh,
That'd be
man.
amazing.
We'd be in the crowd shitting our pants.
a lot more than shit in that happening in that match.
Yeah. So is there any other places that maybe indie promotions you got your start in that just kind of feel like home for you? Any promotions or anything like that?
I obviously GCW that first year before I went to Japan. I can't thank Brett and GCW enough to let me go around with them for that whole year. I got to, because I was, if y'all don't know, I didn't do indies before that GCW run.
Okay.
When I did bookers, I wrestled a lot of lucha in Texas. So, I wouldn't say indies when I was doing my lucha shows, but going down to Mexico. And then I had a child, so about 3 years I didn't wrestle. And then when COVID happened and everyone was starting to come back, that's when that ninja character was born. But shout out to local wrestling. One of my promotion in Houston with Jaime Martinez and Pedro, Mr. Lowrider, wrestler name. They really helped me get back into wrestling after kind of taking that time off to be a father. And that's when that ninja character was born. So I got to be very thankful to not just local wrestling, because I was the first one, but all those Houston promotions running out of Houston Premier Arena. Even Texas Pro right now, Booker T School, the reality wrestling show I've gone back to. So huge shout out to Booker T's reality wrestling, local wrestling, GCW wrestling. Even I've worked PWR, and they've always had a big show and a big platform that got me out to that area. So huge shout out to them. Shadow Alliance is bringing me out to Jersey in a couple weekends, so can't thank them enough. But I have been, since my time home from NOAH, I've been a little more selective with my indie shows. I've really been really selective with the opponents I want to have. I don't want to just go out there and that year with GCW, I would take any booking. Put me against anyone, let's grind. Right now, I really want to focus on the right opponent, the right match, the right promotion. So
quality over quantity.
Yep. That first year was quantity over quality, but now that I'm coming back and I got a good image of what I want right now, it's quality over quantity for sure.
There you go.
One guy that we just had back after quite a while was Dante Leon. Was just at the last show in Iowa, and I know that he was given a few future dates. I would love to see that. Lack of a better term, rivalry between you and him. I'd love to see that run back, a couple years down the road, since probably the last time you guys had a match, right? Well, you guys were in NOAH overlap for a little bit as well.
Yeah, we had a singles in NOAH. I actually, in Dallas this last weekend, there was a ladder match, and I got thrown in as a replacement from Mr. Chandler Hopkins. Had to miss out. I believe he had an emergency, so I got thrown in, and Dante Leon was actually in the match.
Oh shit!
So that was a. Nice to see a face that but at the same time, I'm sorry I got to kick you in the face by the end of the match. But it was good to see him. I hope he's doing well. If y'all want to call it a rivalry, please. Let's go, Dante. Any show, any match, I'll bring it on. I'll whoop that ass any day.
Yep, I want to see that singles match run back again.
I want to see you versus Chandler Hopkins. That's one of my. I like him a lot, man. I'd like to see you guys work together. I'm sure
very talented wrestler.
Yep, another Texas boy, Chandler Hopkins.
So you're a father, and I know that we hit every guest with this question. Mike, you want to go ahead and ask the illustrious question?
Yeah, obviously, as dads are very budget-minded, individuals. We have to be; it's inherent. So we like to kind of gauge our guests, being other dads also, and non-dads for that matter. What do you keep your thermostat set to?
What time of the year? What year are we in? Like, are we in summertime, wintertime? We're in Texas, so.
What do you keep your AC set to?
Are you talking summertime or wintertime?
Summertime.
Summertime. I'd probably put it at during the day, just because everyone's out either at work or we're outside, I'm putting it at 84, 85 because no one's home. No, but no one's home. When I get home, I'm dropping that motherfucker to 72, 73, 74 at night.
Hey, and honestly, okay, in relative terms, 72 in Texas is our 68.
Yes, it's like because we're like I said, we're gonna be 100 degrees, 105 degrees during the summertime. So
Right.
it's like 75, 78 feels good. I like it a little colder, so I'll go 73. I was just in Philly 2 weekends ago, and I got on the plane. It was 104 degrees in Texas. Got off, not Philly. I'm sorry, LaGuardia. I got off at LaGuardia. It was like 68 degrees when I walked outside, and I felt like I needed a hoodie. And I was like, no, this is 68. I don't need a hoodie. But just going from that big temperature jump in a 4-hour window, it felt good though. I love the 60. I would love for it to be cold. Put that AC right on me when I sleep.
Yeah. Hey, that's me too. I sleep with a tower fan on plus the AC on, man.
Keep it moving.
Yeah. So we're right about an hour right here, which just, man, this flew by. Just shows how awesome of a guest you've been. Do you boys have anything else before we get out of here? Ninja, do you have anything you'd like to get in before we get out of here?
Yeah, one last time, people, listeners, if you haven't done it, go subscribe, go follow DWO Podcast, go subscribe, go follow Tusslemania. Go subscribe, go follow Ninja Mack, all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, anything else online we want to subscribe to. That's how we make a living, guys. Please go out, subscribe, follow everyone, give us likes, comments, big bets.
You heard the Mac. Do it.
Amazing.
Dude, I don't even have to do anything now. I just got to say everybody's name.
All right, well.
You boys got anything before we get out of here? Tuss, you got anything?
Ninja Mack, my dude, you're one of my OG homies. Appreciate you coming on. Hopefully we can have you on again, possibly after the Revolver show. You've been an awesome guest. You always have very cool knowledge. I love seeing people finding out that you're more than just a flippy dude. It's very cool.
Yeah, you ask the people I train with. We don't do one flip. I make people throw up ringside every day during the week.
I've trained with you. I know it, bro. I know it. This boy's giving me power bombs, dog. I love it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Appreciate you, homie. I'm looking forward to seeing you at Revolver, my man. That's
me
gonna
too.
Be really cool.
Very excited to see y'all coming through. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, we will not be able to make it to Texas, but hopefully we see you in Dayton here soon, or if you make it out to an Iowa show, hopefully we're at an Iowa show, or we make it to the next Texas show. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be out in Iowa or Dayton coming up soon. Like I said, I'm just working out some schedules and dates, and I got some big things in the work that I'm keeping in the back pocket till it's time to announce.
Hell yeah, man. Love
Bro,
that.
we wish you all the success in the world, man. We thank you for coming on here too, man.
I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Remember, if y'all don't go subscribe and follow, Ninja's going to be looking for y'all at night. Y'all have a wonderful night.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, my dude.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, as always, we've been the DWO Podcast. I'm Big Rig Eric Maffey. He is Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. He is the wrestling t-shirt guy Cephas. He is the one, the only Tusslemania. And he is the Ninja Mack. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And until next time, Top Dads out.